Hello, folks. Welcome to the Scumdog's Kill. Today we're having a special guest, Mike Barron, on. It might be a few minutes before he gets on, but tonight we're also doing another cryptid corner and having some fun. So while we wait for him to get on, let me go off and make sure we're having some fun tonight. Okay? Corner and having some fun. And also, I need to share off my artwork for my own upcoming graphic novel, Scumdog. So let me go off and show you right now. All right, now let's have some fun. All right, here we go. Here's my Extreme 90s cover. This cover I did to harken back to the comic books of the 90s. It looks pretty good, huh? I have all my characters, well, almost all of my characters on here. The name of my graphic novel is Scumdogs. It's a parody comic book. I parodied the comic books we all know and love when we were growing up, when we were kids. There, let me check if Mike Barron's on yet. Oh, here we are. Hello, Mike Barron. Welcome to
Hey, Chris.
Corner. How you doing, man?
Good.
I have some new artwork to show off as well. I've been waiting to show it off and stuff like that. I was hoping to show you, see how you did it. It's basically of a cat girl. I was hoping to, and I want to know your opinion of it. Let me get it up here. This is the first time I'm showing off this artwork. I should tell you she's not naked, but she's not wearing clothes. But it's not like she's like
she has fur on, right? She's covered with fur.
Yep, she's a tiger girl.
All right. Well, then I can live with that.
Now let me get up. It's black and white artwork, and I have to find it here and stuff like that. A bunch of artwork to look through. I have it up here. Where are you? Where are you? If I can. Where are you? I haven't colored and stuff like that and done anything with it. Here we are. Here's what she looks like. Can you see her? Here's this new artwork. I was hoping to show this to John Malin and stuff like that.
Well, Chris, you're getting better.
Thank you. So yeah, I know the posture is one of the best things about her. I really worked hard on that. Like that. I call her maybe about Tiger Gin and stuff, and so that maybe or something like that, or maybe Tiger Lynn, Tiger something. It looks pretty good. I know that. So, what do you think? I love her face, huh? She looks.
Really I'd love to see it bigger. Why don't you? You know.
How's this?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a lot better. That's a lot better, Chris. That's a lot better.
I know. Look at the posture of her. Looks great.
Except, are those her tits?
I was hoping they looked good and stuff like that. On your opinion, her breasts are basically hanging out a bit and stuff like that and stuff.
It looks like her left breast is attached to her left arm.
Maybe. That's like
the rest of it is pretty good. Do you do any life drawing?
Yeah, and stuff like that. But this one I wasn't really life drawing and stuff like that. I was trying to get it right.
Well, tell me about the life drawing. Where do you do life drawing? Do you, because a lot of places a model will say, well, I will just pose for an hour. I will strike a pose and I will keep it for an hour, and she or he will charge $10 for you to enter and draw them. Have you had any? Are you in a place where people do that?
No, when I say life drawing, I just use a drawing as a medium, and I basically look at it, and then I look back at my drawing, and basically do that and stuff.
Right. Well,
I don't know if there's any place I can do actual life drawing without a model and stuff here.
Do you live near a university?
There's a Jefferson City University and stuff like that, but if any other and I'm not sure they do that. Yeah, and Columbia University, well, it's over an hour away and stuff like that, and it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's worth doing. When I tried to teach myself to draw, I did some life drawing, and it's a real revelation because you're looking at real people, and you got to get them down the way they look. And I think that all the really great artists do that. And here's, and some artists have never done it. Like Jim Starlin. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he's another great comic book artist and stuff.
Yeah.
I know a bit about him.
I've always liked Jim's art. I admire his craft. but he's never done any life drawing, and it's evident in his figures because it's like a synthetic world. And you compare that to somebody like Neil Adams, who has obviously done a lot of life drawing, and you look at a Neil Adams drawing and you say, yeah, that's the way a real person looks. But Neil makes it very exciting. I mean, he's a one of the most exciting artists I know. And geez, he's pushing 80 now, and he hasn't lost a stitch. You can't say that about a lot of guys.
I know Neil Adams is doing great about that. There's some people have talked about him, but yeah, his artwork is still up on there and stuff like that. 90s and stuff like that. I thought he started in 1968, right, on the X-Men or something like that.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was in his 90s yet. I thought he was in his maybe late 70s.
I think Neil just had his 80th birthday, if you can believe that.
Oh, I figured it was late 70s stuff like that. Yeah, so he's about 80 now. Wow.
Yeah.
And I've seen his artwork. He's recently did a Fantastic Four series and stuff that still has some great art. That has some tremendously great artwork and stuff like that. It's a shame what happened to Marvel and stuff like that. But at least but at least it was the Fantastic Four he was working on. He basically said it back during the timeline of the Fantastic Four, so it's not with anything modern Marvel is doing. Yeah, I know. Sheesh. But hey, but at least we got an actual final story of the Fantastic Four being the Fantastic Four. That's good. Don't get me started on what they've done to the X-Men.
I wouldn't know, I assure you.
They basically they're trying to do something with it, where basically the X-Men and the humans are all basically, good and bad and stuff like that. But basically, they really screwed it up and stuff like that. And so I stopped reading and stuff, and I wouldn't really know what's going on either. I just knew that there was hope at the beginning, and they kind of really fumbled it. But hey, my artwork looks pretty good. Yeah, the left breast is meant to be like it's basically flopping out a bit like that, and because she's not wearing clothes and stuff like that. I figured I wanted to know your guys' opinion on this, but thank you on this. As soon as I can, I'd love to get John Malin's opinion on this. I think it looks pretty good, but yeah, the breasts, stuff like that. Maybe I could erase and redraw some of this. But
You
thank
talked
you.
to John?
Yeah, I've been on his show. I've also been on the Jack show, and I've talked to Anna as well as Kelsey and Cecil, or Cecil and Kelsey.
Kelsey Shannon?
Yep.
You know that Kelsey is doing a 3-issue Nexus series, and the first issue's at the printer right now.
I know. Well, I thought he was only doing a one-shot with Nexus.
Well, no, it's a 3-issue series, and if Richard doesn't publish all of them, I know that Dark Horse will.
Well, that's good for Dark Horse. At least they got something going. I still haven't. I'm still angry about what they did to Cecil and stuff. Where they
I know nothing about that.
I know, but at least it was a funny cover. But then they redrew the cover. They canceled the cover with Cecil on it with for Vampirella and stuff like that. But
that wasn't Dark Horse. That wasn't Dark Horse. That was Dynamite.
Oh yeah, Dynamite. Sorry, I get them. Those well, not really, but yeah, I can't believe I got that screwed up there. Either Dark Horse and stuff like that. Again, I'm sorry about Dark Horse now, but either way, yeah. So Dark Horse is doing good and stuff like that. So you think my artwork is good, but the breast looks a little flopped out.
A little wonky.
I know. I was trying to do a life drawing here and stuff like that, or at least trying to get as much like a life drawing. I couldn't, but this is only from basically eyeballing it and basically trying to get the stance.
Right. I tell you, most of it looks good. The proportions are good. The composition is good.
Thank you for that. I know. I love the effect of her stripes on her body. Huh?
Yeah, those are well done.
Hmm. And she's got a cute face.
Yes.
Hmm. Thank you for that. Uh, Now, at least as I said, Dynamite at least is doing good in the comic book industry. It's reaching out to fans. It's also going to publish your books. So yeah, they are doing everything they can to stay afloat during these times. Ugh. But cowdowning and stuff like that to anyone, yeah, cowdowning and getting rid of covers and basically canceling stuff like this is not the way to do it if you want to make comic books, especially great artwork. But yeah, I really would love to do some life drawing. Maybe I could. I wanted to take pictures of this little girl once who was sitting on a tree and stuff like that. I thought it would make one hell of a great picture. I never got actually to do it because she had gone back inside her house, but she had been outside stuff like that. She was sitting on a tree branch and stuff like that. I thought it would look really cute as a picture and stuff like that. Sadly, by the time I got a camera to try and take a picture of her, she had gone back inside. And I love have done a life drawing, but I doubt it would look very good trying to do a life
Do you,
drawing of a little girl and stuff like
do you
that.
live alone?
No, I live with my parents. I can ask them maybe to pose and stuff like that.
Yes, you could.
Hmm. And it don't like that and stuff.
You got to start somewhere. I mean, the first time you do life drawing is, it's you're not an accomplished artist. It only comes with practice. Believe me, I know from experience. You just got to stick at it.
So, what do you think of the rest of the background with this picture? Do this.
Looks good. Look good colored.
I know. I was going to ask people's opinion for it in like this. Right. So the shadows on this like on the stump she's on, looks pretty good and stuff like that. I did really well on this. So I recently bought a scanner, and this is my first scanned-in artwork and stuff like that. So I don't have to go out to the library to use their scanner anymore. And I was wondering your I know. I have sitting right here, and I can just scan my artwork anytime I want, as soon as it's finished. I'm working on this new page on my graphic novel, and the artwork on it looks good as well. And yeah, but life drawing, I really should try that, especially with what you're describing with it. I'd like to get other people's opinion on this before I do anything else on this, but yeah, I worked really hard on this, and I thank you for that. As you know, folks, you can. Well, let me go back over to what we were over here and stuff. I want to see any few chats, any out there. I guess not. If anyone's watching this live stream, folks, feel free to leave me a few chats. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. But either way, we're having some fun tonight and stuff like that. I have my friend Mike Brown here, and we're talking about comic books. I also have over here. Let's see, up on Indiegogo. They're doing pretty well, folks, and stuff like that. Now I'm trying to think of a few questions. So, Mike, what have you been doing with? You have a new. You have Kelsey Sand doing Nexus books. So, anything else going on with your life with comic books? Any other stuff you have to look forward to?
Well, I'm writing The Saints for Allegiance Comics. It's a series about a secret group of archaeologists who have combined to protect the world's great archaeological sites from destruction. As you know, when the Taliban moved into Afghanistan, they blew up some holy sites.
Yep, I know. I saw those. It was a shame.
And that's the theme. But the Saints are opposed by a secret group called the Children of the Forge, which hope to change the future by altering the past. The art is fantastic. The Saints is up on Indiegogo. It's the Saints comic at Indiegogo. The artist.
Let me find it and stuff. That's Saints.
Just the Saints Indiegogo. That's it. That's it.
I fear as much. I haven't looked at this campaign much. A veritable non-archaeologist falls down, into a hole and into the crushes of dangerous foes. It's made $17,000, and, it looks pretty good. Let's see. Saints graphic novel, $25. Wow, look at that artwork. That's a great-looking cover.
His name is Christian Rosato.
Now let's go down here and see what the interior art looks like a bit. So I'm sure there's a few pages, or at least hopefully. Ooh, that's nice. That's very nice. Maybe blow it up a bit. Yeah. Yeah, folks, look at this artwork. The Saints looks like a great looking book. Oh, look at that. That looks nice.
Yeah, he's a great artist.
That he does. He on this artwork honestly looks just good. Very good. Gotta
Yeah,
help.
he's got a unique style too.
That it does.
It's exciting. It's illustrative. It's not like superhero comics.
That's realistic. Well, it's good and stuff like that. It looks more like a well, I would dare say like a spy movie or an action movie, like and stuff
That's
like
what
that.
we're shooting for.
Yeah, and not just like not just well, I'm trying to give you a few examples here. This looks very much like maybe. Let me try to think here. Like something we'd see on. With what Richard C. Myers is doing, stuff like that, with a bunch of
Well,
photos.
Richard Myers is publishing the Nexus series that Kelsey Shannon is illustrating.
That he is. Our boy Zach and stuff.
I also have a book called Monster Hunt 2, Let's Get Crackin', which is a Nexus Lone Star Bigfoot Bill crossover, and that's being colored right now. And Matthew Weldon is the artist on that. His art is incredible.
That it is. I really should check out this Saints book and stuff. But I'm backing a few books already. I'm a bit short. I'll probably have a little money in a few months, maybe next month or so. Maybe I could back this book. But there's another book I was hoping to back first and stuff. But this definitely looks like something I'd like to back. I love the artwork.
I too hope to have some money in a couple of months.
I know. Me too. But either way, I'm doing pretty well. I'm getting more subscribers on YouTube and BitChute. My channel on BitChute's doing pretty well. It's getting more subscribers. I'm still not to the point to launch my campaign on Indiegogo yet. But I'm getting more subscribers all the time. I just wish it would happen a bit faster. Oh boy. But I've recently made, let's see, what should see here. I recently made over 160 subscribers on BitChute.
Oh, congratulations.
I know.
What is BitChute?
BitChute's another streaming site besides YouTube and stuff like that. And stuff. And it's because YouTube has doing a bunch of stuff like basically making taking away likes and basically burying videos. A lot of people are uploading YouTube videos. They'll do their YouTube video and then basically also upload this video up to BitChute. And various people have got a following on them. Styx Hexenhammer, the popular YouTuber, says that you're doing well if you basically spread your YouTuber videos or your videos in general to different sites. I also have a presence on Minds. I also have a presence on BitChute, as well as what's it called? I have it up over here. Let's see, on rumble.com as well. Here's another YouTube. Here's another video sharing site and stuff that I put my videos on. You get the idea. I make sure to spread my videos all over the place. Lately, I've been doing a lot of paranormal videos and stuff like that, and that's another reason why Yep, that's right. I talk about what people have seen and stuff like that, but I also push my graphic novel and basically also do a bunch of Indiegogo stuff as well. Usually taking a segment of it and basically talking about some of the latest Indiegogos and stuff like that. I'm also been hoping to do a lot more on this. So you get the idea. I've been working a lot and basically uploading my videos as soon as I basically finish them and stuff. I've been getting more of a following because basically I've been doing a lot more paranormal videos because they're popular, and I'm also very interested in the subject. Sadly, I keep trying to push my videos on YouTube, but YouTube, I think, keeps trying to bury me. I basically, what I've been told also that you shouldn't mention basic. Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to interrupt right there, Mike Barron. Yeah. Also, let's see. So what I'm trying to say. Great, I forgot what I was going to say. I've been uploading my videos to various video sites and basically trying to push my videos and stuff like that to get as many subscribers as possible. Raging Great Golden Eagle says, he's another YouTuber, says you should also try to basically, get a presence on different YouTube sites to get as much following as possible, because he's got a bunch of subscribers on different video sites, and his own campaign on Indiegogo is well over $250,000 at this point.
Holy shit.
I know. Yeah, so he's probably got 1,000 on BitChute or something like that, and stuff like that. His followers are doing that, and he doesn't have to worry about having his videos basically flagged or something like that. He can release content to one video site, and basically anyone on YouTube would have to go over to that site and subscribe to see his videos. It's free and stuff like that, and he has a Patreon, so he can make money like that as well. Not to mention also sell. There's also other people say that you should sell merch. As soon as my graphic novel makes a bunch of money and stuff like that, I plan to make T-shirts and hats and stuff like that for myself, so you can get with my characters on it, as well as maybe a brand and stuff like that, so you can get money like that. But I have to basically get a following first and stuff.
What's your day job?
As I said, I'm a security guard, and that's what I basically do.
And well, it could be worse.
Dillard Draws is up up and stuff like that. He's basically sending chats. What's up, Chris? What's all this about? Cryptids. Dillard Draws looking forward to an informative show. Dillard Draws is another artist and cartoonist and stuff like that. He does his own graphic novel. He's done what's it called? Hey, Dillard, you want to come on and talk to Mike Barron real quick? I have him up on my show. I can send you a chat. I can send you a link as well. He's done his own Indiegogo, folks. If I can just remember what it's called. Maybe I just put Dillard Draws in. Or Dillard, maybe look at it. Dillard Draws. Maybe I get up here. Let's see. I don't see it. I know it's still up on Indiegogo. He's done this. He did one of the covers to. Let me just a moment. Let me go get it. No. He did one of the covers to Melvin, and Mike Barron, talked to the creator of Melvin and stuff like that. Basically, that guy who sort of looks like a Captain America with a shield and stuff like that, except he's an alien with golden skin. I have the comic book and just it's a good book, and I've been reading and stuff like that, and haven't finished it yet. But he did one of the variant covers to Melvin. Dillard Draws did that.
We're thinking of doing our own Captain America.
I know. I basically help push another career, stuff like that. Dillard, if you want to come on and talk to Mike Barron, I'd love to have you on as well.
Better hurry, Dillard, because I got to get off in a little bit.
Hasn't responded yet. We have a few people watching. Thank you, guys. Feel free to hit that subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics that are bad for you, okay? As well as please go hit that bell and hit that part of the bell that gives you all future notifications. And please go share this video on Twitter and Facebook. Yeah, having some fun tonight. I'm talking to various guys. Graham Nolan's Alien Alamo has made over 90,000 already, and it's doing good. Can't come on watching the kids. Too bad, Dillard. I love to have you on here and stuff, but thank you for basically leaving a few chats. After I'm done with Mike Barron here, we'll have some more fun, folks. But so don't worry, the show is not going to be boring. But either way, We're having some fun tonight, and Mike Burns told us that he's working on various new books. He's got like The Saint up on Indiegogo, so go check that out. Really help a creator make some money, and he'll bring you even more better books in the future, folks. So, anything else, Mike Byrne?
That's it. Thanks for having me on, Chris.
Thank you, Mike Byrne. I love to have you guys on. I'm sorry I couldn't have you on before, but I've been busy and I keep forgetting stuff. But I'll have you on again as soon as we can. But I really love having people on my show to talk about comic books and having some fun.
Groovy, baby.
See you later, man. Have a good day. All right, folks. That was Mike Byrne, a great guy. And we had a few chats from Dillard Draws. And I decided to get this, have Mike Byrne on the night. But now we're going to be looking at various cryptids, having another cryptid corner and having some fun tonight, folks. We looked at comic books like that for a while and talking about various books and doing like that. So, and I basically told you about my Scumdogs. As I said, it's a parody book, and I'm working on that book every day. It's it'll be up on Indiegogo when it's done, folks. But it'll be a great looking book. And as I said, Scumdogs is a parody comic book of various things I like to parody, cartoons we all know and love. The Scumdogs themselves are supervillains out to take over the world. They say they used to compete in sporting events known as the Scumdog Sports, and basically the stars of my comic book are Deathmug and Buick Starpoon. And as I said, they used to compete in sporting events known as the Scumdog Sports, sporting events held with superhuman monsters as the pro athletes. Say they're called Scum and Dogs because they trade in their humanity for superpowers and stuff like that, or to become superhumanly powerful monsters. So you get the idea. Now, Deathmug is the leader of the Scumdogs. He's a parody of various villains from 80s cartoons. He's the guy with he's the purple guy with the metal mask who's currently fighting his archenemy Buick Starpoon. The guy with the pink pompadour hair, who's basically a parody of various G.I. Joe and space opera heroes. If you see the way he looks with that pink pompadour hair, like Duke from G.I. Joe, but he's also a parody of various space opera heroes like Zap Brannigan, Captain Kirk from Star Trek, Buzz Lightyear, Buck Rogers, those kinds of heroes. He's basically a parody of them. He's a military guy who Deathmug is basically an arrogant dictator who wants to rule the world, while Buick Starpoon is basically a moron soldier type character and stuff like that, who basically keeps screwing up. But either way, they're both idiots, and they're going to be fun when you read about them in a graphic novel. And we'll move on to other things now. I think I've talked enough about this. Just wanted to get that up there. Go back, Scumdogs, when it's up on Indiegogo. Go back, Scumdogs, when I have it done. It's up on Indiegogo. You'll love it. Now, I should also talk about various other characters in my graphic novel. Over here, we have another member of Buick Starpoon's team. His name is Roadhog. His military specialty is that he's an army guy. And we have this bald guy down here with a gun whose name is Beach Pounder. His military specialty is he's a Marine, because they're all G.I. Joe parodies and stuff like that. They each have a military specialty. This guy back here in that big vehicle there is called Blasting. His military specialty is he's a heavy vehicle specialist, a tanker. This cover is one of 3 different variant covers you'll be able to back when Indiegogo goes live. And it looks pretty good. Here we have Girl Friday, who's basically Buick Starpoon's second in command. She was assigned to the Wild Rangers and stuff. That's the name of Buick Starpoon's team in the Space Forces, to basically, because while the Wild Rangers fight the Scumdogs and save the universe, they're just morons who destroy stuff. So her superiors decided to assign Girl Friday to them to basically, they assigned Girl Friday to work under Buick Starpoon to basically be his second command, to basically babysit him. And she hates her job because she thinks her career in the military is over, but it's going to be fun when you read about her. By the way, folks, hit that like button for me. It really helps me fight the algorithm, so more people can see my content. My graphic novel Scumdogs comes out to you all the sooner. As well as hit that bell and hit the part of the bell that gives you all future notifications. And please go share this video on Twitter and Facebook. And right here we have Death Mug's henchmen, because you know in all 80s cartoons, the main villain of the cartoon would have henchmen, and they'd be idiots. These are my idiots. The pink guy down here is Sloppy, and the blue guy up here is the blue guy up here with their top hat is Murder Mouth. They're, yeah, there are a couple. They're a parody of every hench. They're a parody. They're a parody of every henchman from an 80s cartoon. They're complete morons who are just going to be fun when you read about them. And here we have Hair Metal Doctor, who's basically a parody of Dr. Mindbender from G.I. Joe, a mad scientist. But he's been crossed over with a hair metal musician. He thinks of all the stuff the scumdogs use to try and take over the universe, but he does it while being cool and, rocking out. Well, he does it while rocking out. It's Hair Metal Doctor. Here we have Miss Breasty Melons, who's basically a parody of the Baroness from G.I. Joe, and she's awesome as well. And you get the idea. Now, the Hair Metal Doctor pinup and the Miss Breasty Melons pinup will be included with other pinups in my graphic novel when you back it on Indiegogo. Well, my graphic novel, Scumdogs, when you back it on Indiegogo. I'm still working on the book, folks. But we'll also get these pinups out to you from Crypto Fashion as soon as I'm able to make it. All right? Is there a place where I can see reference images? Is there a place where I can see reference images? Dilla Draw has left another few chats. Let's see. Dilla Draw has also left. I would like to do some Scumdog art. Is there a place where I can can see reference images? Well, I can send you a few of my pictures of my Scumdogs, a few of my sketches and stuff. I could have you do that. Dilla Draws, but I can't pay you. It would have to be free. I can't really pay anyone else. I don't have the money yet. I'll have it I'll have money when I basically start my campaign. If I wait a while, I guess I could give you some money and stuff like that. But I don't really want to sell you short and stuff, Dillard. When I have my campaign and I've made some money and stuff, I most definitely can be able to hire something like other artists to basically do covers for me, as well as basically colorists. But that'll be a while, sadly. But either way, if you want to do some artwork and stuff like that, I could basically send it out to you, some sketches and stuff like that, and give you an idea. I do have various. I didn't say anything about pay. Don't make this weird. Sorry, Dillard Draws. I know. I figured you have something like that opinion. Sorry about that. I'm very sorry. But either way, I'm working hard on my book, and I would love to have other people do art of my characters and stuff. I would be awesome. But either way, folks, we're going to be looking at various cryptids tonight. Let's see. Pharaoh clans roaming McDowell Country, West Virginia mountains. Take a look at that. Upright cryptid wolf encountered Michigan's northern lower peninsula. Let's go look at this, because this looks interesting, huh, folks? When we were teenagers, my brother and I took a trip with my cousin and her family to their cabin in Gaylord, Michigan. It was a very rustic cabin that's been her husband's family for years. Nothing around for several miles. Very thick woods, breathtakingly beautiful. There is no road that goes to the cabin. There's no driveway or path. You literally follow a map and drive off into the woods until you find it. Cousin's husband mentioned that the past generations developed other smaller cabins near the place, and would write general entries about their experiences. Some of the entries date back to the early 1900s. Thinking that was the coolest thing ever, we grabbed protection on the chance that we ran into a bear or something, a flashlight, because it was getting late, and made our way into the woods. We did not intend to be out long, mostly planning a destination for the next day. All right. That's interesting, huh, folks? When we found one of the cabins, maybe 20-minute walk from the home cabin, we decided to take a break and see what's inside. Neither of us were aware of how quickly it gets dark when you're, woods that thick. And the next thing we knew, it was pitch black outside. We panicked a bit because these are are not woods that you want to be in at night, and without a light of day, we have no idea how to get back. Not the best decision making on anyone's part, but hey, what can you do now? We remember what we were told: make enough noise, and if there are any dangerous animals nearby, they will likely get scared and go somewhere else. The predators in the areas aren't exactly hungry, so we should be fine. We remember this too late, because the next thing we know, there are a pair of glowing yellow eyes off in the distance, moving very slowly towards us. A large white silhouette of a wolf comes into view, and with those yellow eyes, quickly about a dozen more pairs of yellow eyes appeared. We had been joined by an entire pack of wolves just staring at us. To paint the picture, the cabin is about the size of a small RV, and the entire front side of it was a pixel glass window. Door was just a screen. We knew that we were supposed to make enough noise to keep predators away from us. We had no idea what to do if we found ourselves in the middle of a wolf's lair. All eyes on us, both terrified and total awe. We just froze. We heard another wolf pack howling a few miles behind us, and then another one off to the right. This made us even more terrified, because we were told that wolf packs typically avoid each other's territories, so what were they all doing so close? We were both completely aware that they could have just sounded closer than they were, but in that moment they literally sounded like they were right there. We couldn't tell if minutes were passing or hours. We were just frozen. We were hoping that my cousin's husband wasn't going to stumble into this situation looking for us. The wolves, well, went to lie down one by one. Every now and then we'd see a pair of eyes pop up, but mostly they had stopped caring that we were there. That's when it happened. Like the first wolf that we saw, a pair of yellow eyes was approaching from the distance, except this time its silhouette was huge. Moved like a ghost. My brother grabbed my arm tightly. We were both terrified. Whatever was walking towards us was not like the other wolves at all. It had a humped back, and its shoulders were higher than what a canine normally looks like. It moved its way around the sleeping wolves towards us, towards the cabin, towards us. Oh, this is interesting. I'm doing everything in my mind to tell myself it was just a weird-looking wolf, some sort of deformity, or that my eyes are playing tricks on me in the moonlight. There is no way that what I think I'm seeing is actually there. That was when it stood up on its hind legs and hunched over and slowly walked up the steps to the cabin door. Remember, the cabin door is just a screen instead of opening it. Just hunched over. I thought they were out in the outside and stuff like that. Remember that it's just instead of opening it, it just hunched over and sat on the porch. And I'll never forget the way it was breathing, heavy. Heaving is more like it. Its entire body rocked back and forth with every inhale, exhale. While it looked over the sleeping wolves, I whispered to my brother, "What the F is that?" And it started to moan and then growl, stood back up and walked to the other side of the porch, got back on all fours, crawled down the steps the way a person would if they were on all fours, and began walking in circles around the cabin before coming back to the steps and rocking, heaving at the foot of the steps. Again, facing the wolves, eventually it got up and walked to behind the cabin. I have never been so scared in my life. I mean, what was that thing? We sat there, frozen in absolute silence until the sun came up. I'm not sure that I blinked once, but we never saw the wolves get up and leave. When the sun started to peer through the tree canopy, the whole area was just clear. Clear. Was only us. Wolves really are majestic creatures. It was impressive to witness just how stealthy they can be. When we got back to the home cabin, we assured our panicking cousin that we were fine, but when we were told what we had just experienced, her husband laughed at us. Had been going to the cabin for his entire life and had never seen a wolf come this close, let alone an entire pack. Seemed to not realize that he and his friends partying out there is a bit more deterrent than my brother and I sitting quietly. He about walked away from us when we told him we heard multiple packs. We said not to mention the upright wolf. If he thought we were mentioning wolves, what would he point of us telling him we were stalked by a bipedal one? Neither of us are the type of people that believe in werewolves, things like that, and still don't, but we know that what we saw was unbelievable. Definitely not an animal that I've ever known to be in existence. Oh, so they were at one of those miniature cabins and stuff like that. So that's what they were at. Fast forward 13 years later to now, I'm watching a documentary, Legends of Different Creatures, and learn about Dogman, about Michigan Dogman. Ridiculous name with mostly ridiculous, unbelievable stories. Well, you like yours. Mine. I do a little more research and find that there are a lot of people from northern Michigan with very similar story. The creature that these people are describing, and this is very much like another of Mike Byrne's comic book characters, who's basically a wolf-like guy, where they're a coyote character and stuff like that. So you might want to check into that as well, folks. It's up on, I think it's up on Indiegogo or Kickstarter. Try and find it on Indiegogo, folks. Not almost exactly what we experience, a human-like creature with the head of a dog. Reports of this creature are mostly centered around northern lower peninsula of Michigan, where you will find our town. I'm not the type jump to believing things like this. I know is that Wolf looked mutated and stood up and walked up those steps. My brother and I have always shared this. Do you remember that time in town? We leave out the oddity because besides the terror, this was the coolest thing I've ever experienced. Learning that this monster-like thing that we saw is actually a thing has rocked me. What is it that we see? Well, various weird things, probably. I mean, honestly, various weird things. Looking back, Yellow Eyes and Dead Woman's Hollow. Did the Men in Black come calling in too sunny? Here's another one we can look at. Diller Draws, if you want, leave me a few more chats. I'd love to hear more from you. And basically, we're doing an early stream, folks, because I wanted to have Mike Barron on. If you're wondering why I'm doing it at this time and stuff, we're having fun looking at cryptids now, having looking at various stories, and we'll have a little more fun. A young man from Tucson saw two unusual men in his door. He watched from the window in his room. They were dressed in 60s dress attire, then suddenly disappeared. I'm from Tucson, from Italy about 3 years ago. Strange people rang my door and then vanished into thin air before my eyes. Possible meeting. Want to try to put on as much detail as possible. Since I'm from another country, if I express myself in somewhat strange way, it is because I do not speak English perfectly. So since I was little, I've always been literally obsessed with everything related to UFOs, aliens, mysterious creatures, mysterious aliens. So it was summer. I was in my room. I was fooling around at the computer about 1,500 hours in this afternoon. Doorbell rings. I live on the second floor of a large house on the third floor. People who want to enter must first ring the bell at the gate so that I can give them the opportunity to enter by opening. All right. I'm a bit bored with this one already and stuff like that. How long is it? Oh, not very long. Basically, he meets a couple of men in black and they vanish at his door. I kind of want to move on to something a little more entertaining than that after the other story. Men in Black, Yellow Eyes, and Dead Woman's Hollow, The Real Resident Aliens. Let's see, California, Forest by No. Chilling human predator evidence found. Sharp-tooth troll encounter, rural Oregon. What was it? Large flowing orb in the parlor. Mormon book Bigfoot stories. LSD doctrine. Maybe. Should I look at this, folks? Maybe I should try a different video and stuff like that. Warning to aliens. Get ready for the Space Marines. The erratic thing. A few of these ancient geological orphans remain mysterious. We can take a look at this article here about talking about how they're getting ready for the space forces and stuff like that, huh, folks? Maybe I should look at this now. I mean, aliens thinking about invading Earth need to be ready to hearing cries of cries of something. Now that a select group of Space Marines have commenced training in the Army Space and Missile Defense School in Colorado Springs, where they will be prepared to fight our country's battles from the halls of Mount Azuma, to all the way on to the moon and beyond. Someday soon, if extraterrestrials ever look up on heaven's scenes, they will find our skies are guarded by United States Marines. We are initial building stages of SOP standard. Well, we are at the initial building stage, huh? We're at the initial standard operating procedures, tactics, techniques, and procedures, and force structure. Right now, that is a capability that doesn't exist in the Marine Corps. Always us reaching out to the joint force to provide it. It wouldn't be a military announcement without acronyms. So, well, here's what we have here. Quotes Marine Captain Jacob Loya. Jacob, huh? A communications officer with a background in satellite communications, working with 1st Brigade to train the Marines, had a few to say the Marines are part of the newly activated Marine Corps Forces Space Command outfit, Air Force Base in Omaha, Nebraska. After training, will embed with Army Space Support Teams. Training will include some situational awareness of space capabilities, space assets, space products, impact of space and operations. According to the press release, the goal is for the Marines to eventually establish their own autonomous Marine space, teams and stuff. Okay. I think I like this article a bit more than the other one because I thought it was a bit boring. With a renowned emphasis on space and standing up the Space Force and Space Command, the Marine Corps needs to have skin in the game. We want to be able to operate independently, and that starts by learning all the built out by 1st Space Brigade. It's a knowledge base we just don't have. The Space Force is a separate branch of the U.S. Uniformed Service, although it's considered to be a sister branch of the U.S. Air Force. It's responsible for organizing, training, and equipping space forces, which are then deployed the United States Space Command. So, according to the chain of command, distribution, and responsibilities, appears the Space Force trained the Army Space and Missile Defense School personnel, which then trains its own Army and Marines Space Support Teams, which is the case are now the Space Marines, although that's not their official designation. According to the task and purpose, Space Marines will be part of the Army's Space Support Team. Intelligence, operating, planning capabilities for units in the field, especially in the area of space-based military capabilities like satellite intelligence and communications. They will also be able to jam enemy communications to take part in navigation warfare. It's the 100th anniversary of his birth. So, the most famous Space Marine, John Glenn, as a Navy pilot, but accepted a transfer to the Marines and flew. Navy pilot, but accepted transfer to the Marines and flew missions in World War II, Korean War, before becoming a test pilot and eventually one of the U.S. astronauts. The American in orbit, the Earth, that's a real space travel. I know. Would John Glenn be interested in becoming an official Space Marine flight of alien invasions? He never hesitated to serve this country when his country called, so it's easy to answer. Yeah, that sounds interesting, isn't it, folks? Very cool. Very, very cool. Sounds very good. There. I think I'll go back over to the Phantoms and Monsters. Let's see. Feral human sightings and encounters reported. Police officer encounters Bigfoot in West Texas. Manifestation of skinwalker-like entity after a year. Son recalls mother transforming into huge, growling werewolf. Growling reptilian creatures, huh? Sounds a bit boring. Let's see. Let me find a few more articles for here to look at. Did them aliens. Trying to find a few more articles here to look at. I have an idea. Let's try this. What we're talking about here. Let's look at this. Not deer. Well, let's start like that and maybe find a few more articles. Another theory at Darrell's past. This one involves crazed deer. Why the British Bigfoot cannot be like that. Ancient caverns of deer in Scottish tomb. Oldest in the UK. Mysterious hauntings of the Deering estate. Interesting. Mysterious 10-foot humanoid reportedly rips legs off deer in Hull. Mythical Vietnamese mouse deer thought to be extinct. Santa Claus stranded. Venom deer are mysteriously vanishing from the North Pole. Interesting. Maybe try something else. Let me think here. Trying to find a few more articles for us to look at. Either way, we looked at some articles and had some fun. We had Mike Barron on. We had a good show so far, folks. So I'm glad that he did come on. But let's see. I'm trying to think of a few. I have an idea. Let's try going over here, the list of cryptids, stuff like that. Humanoids, planets, supernatural being. Let's go over here. Try to find a few more articles. Let's see. A few more creatures here to look at. Trying to find something here. Maybe I should just look at a few various cryptids up on here through this thing. All right. We looked at a few of these creatures. Draconoids. Let's go over here. Thunderbird. The bunyip. We could look at that, I suppose. Try to find a few stories here to look at. But boring now. This is getting boring, so maybe I'll move on. The real resident aliens. The real resident aliens and stuff like that. I could look at this. Maybe a more dedicated video to aliens and stuff like that. Let me go down here. Bigfoot sightings and counter reports. Florida, West Virginia, and various other places. I'm from Chickwood, British Columbia, and grew up spending a lot of my summer at Hicks Lake in the surrounding area. A friend and I saw something on the far side of Hicks Lake when we were kids. 12, 14 years old, back in the early to mid 90s. We used to catch frogs and snakes there all day and had paddled an old surfboard across the lake after stopping at the small isle in the middle. Yeah, we called it an island. So despite never seeing a snake on it, once on the other side, we walked into the forest and see what we could find, as we hadn't been there before. Interesting. Okay. After a few minutes, we both saw a very tall, brown, and apparently hair-covered something perpendicular to us, or beside us, on two legs, maybe 30 to 50 feet away. We were just kids, but we knew to leave that right away. We said nothing to each other, turned around silently, and scampered back to the surfboard. Neither of us ever spoke of it. Yes, we were just kids and bears walking 2 feet sometimes, of course, and there certainly could have been another human over there dressed in brown, but damned. Remember it like it was yesterday, and that was 100% no bear or human. I didn't tell anyone this story until only a few years ago. Roughly 27 years later, that I can understand, but I'll never know why we didn't talk about it at the time. We got back on that surfboard and paddled back to the opposite side of the lake near silence. I don't think we ever mentioned it to our parents or friends. We didn't even talk about not talking about it either. Pretty strange for two kids who never shut up about anything. That's another odd thing, isn't it, folks? How sometimes these people will never talk about this until years later. Could Bigfoot actually somehow influence these people to never talk about this? Could be. In 1975, I was in the military station at Fort Polk, Louisiana. On weekends, my partner and I would go stay with my girlfriend and her family. And with my girlfriend, outside of Camden, Arkansas. Well, in the woods, their house was several miles from the next house. Weekend around 9 p.m., we were all watching TV in the living room. Her grandmother was washing dishes in the kitchen. All of a sudden, she screams like she's being murdered. We all ran into the kitchen thinking she fell or something. She was just sitting on the floor, white-faced and crying frantically, yelling. She saw it again, staring at her in the window. She said it was like a huge man's face with wild hair around its head. Red glowing eyes looking in at her. We all grabbed guns and ran outside, split up looking for whatever it was. That there were 6 of us. I was with my girlfriend's dad. We saw something in the woods. It was huge. All we saw was a large dark figure running, and it let out a yell. To this day, I never heard it since. I live in the swamps of Louisiana. It started like a man howling and ended like a damned elephant. damned. Ended like, yeah, well, gave him the heebie-jeebies to this day. I went back and looked at the kitchen window from outside. The window was 10 feet off the ground, so whatever it was had to be 10 feet tall. I live in southern Missouri, out in the boonies. One night I took our dog out before bed. 100 yards from my back door, I soon noticed a strange odor of rotten eggs lingering through the woods. I didn't think much of it. Then all of a sudden, my dog, who I had on a leash, almost dug me across the yard trying to get to the back door. Now I keep in mind, dog is a 100 pounds pit bull, afraid of anything. She only barks when she sees or hears something out of the ordinary. But this time she sensed something that terrified her so bad. No bark, growl. That's odd. Took off running. Now I get her back inside. She is yelping and carrying on. I go on and stand in the doorway, and I hear a knocking sound like 2x4 being struck against a tree, and then I hear this funky growl howl I have never heard before, and then I hear the sounds of something running through the woods away from me. Never will forget it. Didn't really believe in Bigfoot. After that it made me a believer. In North Florida, my son's backyard, I found several footprints, 29 inches long. They sink to the ground 2 inches deep. Slept a few nights in a tent there, and it shakes to the ground when it walks, and smells like a landfill. The dogs go crazy when it's there. I also found footprints just outside my granddaughter's bedroom window. My 4-year-old granddaughter said that the monster with big teeth growled at her. She hid beside the bed on the floor. All right. I had an encounter with Bigfoot in Slayfork. While snowshoe in Slayfork hunting, when we started screaming and whooping, beagles quit the snowshoe. They were running immediately. They ran back to me scared with their tails tucked between their legs. They never made a sound, and my dog's reaction speed scared me more than the screams. Then they started down the path back to the truck. Had over a 3-mile hike to get back to the truck, and when we made it, I could still hear the screams clearly. I'll never forget that encounter. That was the only encounter I've had on Cheat Mountain. I hunt snowshoe hares every year, but that's during the winter. When I had my encounter, it was during the summer, during the train season for snowshoes. I have heard that 3 knocks 3 different times along the Gully River, Webster County, where I live. Interesting. That's interesting, isn't it, folks? Okay, folks, we looked at we had some fun tonight. We had Mike Barron on. I'm going to thank you all for joining me. Please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics They're Bad For You. Hit that bell, hit that part of the bell that gives you all future notifications for my videos, as well as leave some comments down below. All right. What else? Yeah. Please go and share this video on Twitter and Facebook, as well as leave some comments down below. Let's see. Please go and subscribe to Stitch Together Picks. Stitch Together Picks is a YouTube channel with a great host. You're going to love his reviews of movies. They are just great. He plays this character that's great on his show, and you're just going to laugh. Go and subscribe to Stitch Together Picks, as well as go over and subscribe to Creepy Little Book. Creepy Little Book is like the Art Bell radio show. He does live streams every night. He live streams, so yeah, you're going to love his stuff. He talks about aliens and ghosts, and he basically live streams every night. He live streams every night, folks. So go and subscribe to Creepy Little Book. All right. Anything else to talk about? Yeah. Anything? Oh, remember, folks, I'll be back again tomorrow on 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 11 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock p.m. or 11 o'clock p.m. for another live stream. So be sure to come back again then. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining.